Good afternoon and welcome to Can Cable 21. For the next 25 minutes, you're going to be watching a live interactive show. My name is Lucy Aquino, Chief Executive Officer of Hispanocare, a program of Advocate Illinois Masonic Medical Center. Our phone lines are now open. The number is at the bottom of your screen. Area code 312-738-1060. Joining me today is Brenda Swartz, President and CEO of Concordia Place here in Chicago. Allow me to welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you. I'm just so happy to be here.
Well, and we're very happy to have you here. There is so much that I want our viewers to learn today about Concordia that I know that for a while back, I know you've been here for a while, but I can't wait to share this with all our viewers. But on that note, I know that Concordia started, Brenda, started its journey back in 1981. And that was with Concordia Lutheran Church, who created its first child care center in response to the child care needs in the community. And, you know, for those families who were struggling in the Chicago's North Side, and I know that you came to the rescue. The organization came to the rescue. So can you tell us more? I'm really excited to hear that. I mean, there's just so much more that I know you'd like to share with our viewers and how it ties into our usual programs of health.
Absolutely, and we're just so excited to share the story. And really, it's a journey that Concordia Place has had in the community, and it started, as you said, back in 1981. So we call it the story of the three Barbaras, because there were three single mothers. All of them just happened to have the same first name of Barbara.
Wow.
And it was at a time when Concordia Church, Concordia Lutheran Church, was facing closure, similar to what a lot of other urban churches face during that time. And Concordia Church they had about a year of finances left. And so they called a young pastor right out of seminary. And it was really at a time when the church had enough problems on their plate.
Right.
So when these three single moms came to them and said, we need help with childcare, they were trying to like piecemeal together things for their children after school. Could the church help us? Really, the list of reasons for the church to say no were very long.
Right.
I mean, you have, we don't have enough money, we have never done this before, we don't know how to do this, childcare, isn't there, do you need a license for that?
And you were also even contemplating closure at that time.
Not enough money to go along. So certainly the list of reasons to say no was long, but instead said yes, and created the first child care center. So it's been in operation now for more than 30, almost 35 years.
Time.
Yes, yes.
Long time.
And so the church itself, Concordia Lutheran Church, is still thriving, and we have this wonderful relationship between Concordia Place and Concordia Church.
Can you tell us what, I mean, we know what you're doing and what you've done with child care, but can you tell us what the mission of Concordia is?
Absolutely. We're really about serving low-income and working poor families through an economically integrated model that provides early childhood, after-school, summer camp, teen leadership, and senior wellness programs.
And this is where I get really excited because you have a senior wellness program.
We do.
In addition to other services as well. And so I do want to get into those, but and we're going to backtrack because there's just so much more that I want to talk about as well. So the economic inclusion was a big part of the Concordia Place mission, right? And so why was that so important to your mission as well? I mean, why was that?
Yeah, you know, it is really important because we feel that we're there to serve the whole community. So, you know, you have a lot of child care centers that they only serve low-income families.
Right.
And unfortunately, economic segregation is really embedded in our early childhood programs. You have, here's where the poor kids go. Here's where the kids go that have means. And so you end up with, you know, at 2, 3 years old, children are already knowing where they rank with that. And so by serving the whole community, not only are we serving those that don't have many choices and those that can afford to go anywhere, and by the way, you have to have quality high enough that they want to come to Concordia Place, but we serve those in the middle as well. So those are the families that sometimes they make just a little too much, or for some reason they don't qualify for public services or public aid, and or certainly, you know, someone that, you know, they just don't quite make enough to afford other options either.
And what's really interesting, too, is that not only is that building so impressive, I was there not too long ago visiting your site, and it was so impressive. Every single floor for every single program that you're providing. And the teachers, the staff, from the receptionist to administration to housekeeping to cafeteria folks, the entire staff, very pleasant. The kids, I could not believe the number of children that were in those classes and how well behaved they were. So you can tell that wonderful discipline goes on, and it's no big deal for them. I mean, it's not often you find toddlers behaving so well.
I know when people tour the center, they see all the toddlers in their little table sitting down with cups, and there's no lids on them.
Right.
There's no sippy cups. They're actually, and using silverware and not throwing food.
Exactly.
And, no, I mean, that's just really an outward expression of the excellence that really happens in the walls. So we like to think that our facility is a great marketing tool because it's kind of a physical demonstration of the excellence, but we have so many stories of parents who really feel very nervous about leaving their child. That's their most precious.
I also noticed that you had newborns.
We start at 6 weeks.
You start at 6 weeks. So you have daycare for 6 weeks and older.
That's right.
Wow. Very impressive facility.
Thank you.
But what the other thing, too, is I know for those individuals, we talked about the financial means and all of that. Now, you do for those individuals who are hoping to get a place in Concordia, regardless of what financial level they're at and what their means are. Now, mothers can also apply for Medicaid or public aid assistance or federal funding.
Action
for
Children.
Action for Children. Thank you.
Yes.
And it's definitely something that you would help those individuals even with completing their forms.
Absolutely. So we know that can be intimidating.
Yeah. Right.
And it can be a process that can make people feel that they are less of a person, maybe. So certainly treating people with respect as they, complete the form. And no one really wants to be in a situation where they can't provide for their children.
Absolutely.
And so helping people through that process in a way where this is something that is helping them get to a different place in their life. And we have a lot of stories of young single moms and even a single dad that I would love to share you different stories of how these different public supports, they do help families. And that's the idea, is that this is a proactive solution really to some key social issues, that we can break this cycle of poverty when you have people who can be encouraged to go back to school or can be encouraged to go to work and know that their children are learning. So not only is Concordia Place helping the child that's actually in the classroom, we're helping that parent that can go to work or can go to school knowing that their child is cared for. And that's really the best thing for society as well.
Brenda, can you tell us a little bit about some of the programmings that you actually have in place, and from what age group till what age up to?
Absolutely. So, we started with 12 children in an after-school program back in 1981, and it has grown. Last year we served, over 700 people, young children, teens, adults, and seniors. And so we have everything from the early childhood programs that we've just talked about. We have after-school summer camp for children 6 to 12-year-old. We're developing the next generation of leaders with our teen leadership program for teens 13 to 18. And then English as a second language, we partner with Truman College to be able to help. Last year was almost 130 adults.
I was there. When I was there, I saw that class in session. Very impressive.
That's right.
Very impressive.
And it's wonderful to see how they grow and feel that this maybe very lonely box that they had kind of gotten themselves into, when you can't talk to somebody because you don't know the language. You have all these ideas and emotions and things that you want to express, and you feel that you can't. So we're really pleased that the English as a second language class is something that not only are we offering to the whole community, but we see how that has become a social interaction for families as well.
It has.
And then the senior wellness that we talked about too.
Which I want to get into next.
Yeah.
But before we move on, I do want to remind our viewers that you're watching Ken Cable 21, a live interactive show. Our lines are open. If you have questions for Brenda Swartz, she is the Chief Executive Officer and President of Concordia Place. Please, any questions you may have for us, please give us a call. The number's 312-738-1060. It's at the bottom of your screen. Can you talk to us a little bit about your senior program?
Yeah, we have, again, proactive solutions. Right. So we're trying to help seniors. I think a popular phrase now is age in place. So with a wellness program that's being proactive and helping seniors to with yoga and Tai Chi. So it's like, maintaining that flexibility, their sense of balance to prevent falls. And it starts with a social time. So if someone is, maybe they've are living alone now and don't get out as often, so they have time together with each other with coffee. They do their exercise routines, and then a healthy lunch. And for some of our seniors, those are the times they cherish. But the nutritional lunches is something that they oftentimes don't get. Sometimes they forget to eat, or sometimes they don't cook anymore. They're eating leftovers that are maybe not good anymore. So we like to know that we're playing an important role in the nutritional aspects of what is happening.
And we know that sometimes these meals are their only meals they have during the day.
That's right.
So it's very important. Now, do you have transportation service?
I was just going to say, now we know some of our seniors can't get to us. And so we also have a program called Senior Lift. And we train volunteers, do background checks, and the volunteers then provide transportation assistance to doctor's appointments, to the grocery store. We even provided rides to Home Depot recently. So
So you're there to help in any which way you can.
We are. Actually, I have a letter that I'd like to share from a woman.
Please. You read a little bit to me, and it's just very, very nice. Please. I
would love to read this letter because I think it shows just the impact that Concordia Place can have and the importance that volunteers can play in the role of a senior. So this woman wrote a letter to Dear Concordia Place. I have recently been using your volunteer drivers to take me to the hospital for my chemotherapy treatments. I am a stage 4 cancer patient. I really appreciate this service and want to thank you with a donation so this can continue for me and for others in need. Thank you sincerely.
Wow. Well, you've definitely made an impact in this lady's life.
We have, and, I don't think we should limit who we're impacting to just those we serve. Because the volunteers that are playing a part of this, I mean, they're feeling so touched, too, that they can play such an important part in someone's life.
Absolutely, to make that much of a difference and impact. We talked a little bit about the Senior Lift, but you also have, now, I know you have entrepreneurship going on over there as well.
We do.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
I mentioned that we're really creating the next generation of leaders with the Teen Leadership Program, and we are really proud, and we know that, if you think of all the ins and outs of running a business, how complicated that can be, and we have teenagers running a business. They're doing everything from the financing, the budget, they determine the price point of the products, they're determining the product line, and they sell it, but they even make it. And so they're involved, as they say, soup to nuts. So they are growing some of the products in their gardens. And dry some of the herbs, and then they make facial soap, lip balms, shea balms, deodorant, so body care products that are handcrafted for teens by teens. And so they're learning how to run a business, but really learning what their role can be in the community. So this last right before Christmas, we had a program, a buy one, give one. And so we partnered with the night ministry. And so our teens who, are maybe one unfortunate incident away from becoming a homeless teen. I mean, aren't we all kind of one incident from becoming in a very difficult situation? So these teens were involved in choosing the night ministry, and for every product that was bought, they donate a similar product to the night ministry.
Helping those in need.
Helping those in need.
That's fantastic. Beautiful stories. So, Brenda, tell me, why do those individuals who are interested in child care, why Concordia? Aside from everything else that you mentioned, we know how great it is, but really, I mean, why do these parents, out of all places that they have choices to go to, why you?
You know, you did such a great job of explaining how wonderful it is to tour and what you see happening. And I think that when you look at the classrooms and you know what's going on, it can become an easy choice. But it's more than just the children are playing in a clean room and they're safe and that kind of thing. There really is a curriculum involved. We use a play-based curriculum. And so for children at Concordia Place, play is their work.
Right.
And that's how they're learning. So they're enjoying themselves. They want to come. But more than 90% of the children we serve are meeting all of their developmental milestones. And those that aren't, we then refer them to services so they can get any extra help that they need. So our teachers, because they do have their Type 04 certification, they have their background in childhood development. You know, they know what types of milestones to look for. So these children are really in a better situation. They're with loving people. But then being, you know, just really even at home with my own children, I wish I would have had something like this available.
Don't we all?
we do. So, you know, they are meeting developmental milestones and really entering kindergarten prepared for a life of learning. So we have the educational aspects of it, the social aspects of it, and then there's what happens in the community as everyone is developing all those connections.
I know we alluded to a little bit earlier about, you know, probably financial assistance and all of that. So, income. Huge factor? Not a big factor?
You mean a family's income?
Yes.
Yeah.
How does that play into Concordia?
Well, a family's income is something that we use to determine where they fall on the sliding tuition scale. And so that is something that we use to really assess and work with the family to determine what can they afford to pay. Everybody pays something, and everyone needs to have a part of helping to pay for these services because we are a private nonprofit. We're not, only a third of our funding is from the public sector. So of all of the families that we served last year, 70% of them are low-income families.
Huge.
Yet only a third of our funding is public sector funding. So we're using private fundraising as well as the private pay tuition portion to make sure that we can serve such a large percentage of families that need additional help.
And you mentioned that you're serving currently over 700 families?
We served more than 700 people last year.
That is huge. That is huge. Now, I know that even though summer hasn't officially started, but we already have, I mean, folks who call us over at Hispanocare, you know, we refer, we help out any which way that we can. But we even get calls about folks looking for places to send their children to refer them to, and slots are already taken. How do you deal with this? I mean, there's just so many slots that you have, obviously. What is a good advice that you can give parents who are looking for the fall? What should they be doing now?
Well, it is unfortunate that demand is much higher than what a lot of services can meet. And so, unfortunately, planning ahead and calling ahead and getting your name on a wait list is what helps. Now, on our wait list, we're taking people regardless of what their income level is. I don't know if that's true for a lot of other centers. I already mentioned the the economic segregation that already happened. So that's not a part of the application process as far as where someone falls on the wait list. So I would think that, you know, unfortunately, getting your name in early, and then the other is, you know, asking as you tour a center, if it's not at Concordia Place, what are the ratios? You know, how many staff do you have for all of the children? What are the qualifications of the teachers? And what we offer is a lot of intergenerational programs too. And so you might ask about what other types of activities and programs that the center offers beyond just the maybe what you think of as typical childcare.
Right. I do want to remind our viewers who are watching that if you have questions and you want to find out more about Concordia Place, you want to call and really spend some time in finding out what they're all about, you can get more information by calling them at area code 773-463-1600. Again, that number is 773-463-1600. Or you can visit their website at www.concordiaplace.org. You can probably reach Brenda by that number as well. So feel free to give them a call. Now, Brenda, I know that you have a wonderful story. I know you have lots of stories, but can you tell us a story on how Concordia Place had an impact on one of your families that you serve?
Thank you. I really love to share the stories of our families and really the difference that that we can have in their lives. And I think the one that really illustrates not only what Concordia Place has done, but because of how our model works, how we can make a difference that maybe other centers can't. We had, this was 2 years ago now, a single father who had 2 boys in our preschool program.
Okay.
And unfortunately, he lost his job. So when David lost his job, now we talked about the public support that families get. Well, that is only if you have a full-time job or you're working. I mean, or you're a student.
Okay.
So when he loses his job, he loses those eligibility for that public sector support. So David now can't afford to pay for his apartment, so he moves in with a friend, and he ends up going from friend's house to friend's house to friend's house, and you know, time is going on, he's still not finding a job, and he and his 2 boys end up living in their car. Now, in the meantime, what we can do because of the sliding tuition scale and because we do fundraising for private scholarships as well, is in the morning, he would bring, when we open at 7 a.m., David would bring the 2 young boys to our center. They'd have breakfast, and they'd have, you know, circle time with their teachers. They'd still be with their friends. So at a time when there's a lot of stress in their lives, their learning and their lives are continuing uninterrupted. And they have lunch, so we have organic and natural foods for lunch. They can stretch out on a cot for nap time. And then, you know, then that afternoon when they wake up, snack and more time with their friends until we would close at 6 when his father would come get them. So not only were the children able to continue their learning uninterrupted, but then Concordia Church, through its Helping Hand Fund, actually, as the father would have interviews, then we would help him with some interview clothes and shoes, and occasionally some grocery money for the family as well. So really pleased that there's a happy ending to this story, that David was able to go back to school and get a certification so that he now holds down a full-time regular job.
What a wonderful story, and we need to hear more stories like that. But obviously Concordia Place can't do it all by itself, and community is definitely a big part of that. Big, huge support. Viewers just like you, we're always out there. You know, Brenda, our time here goes by so fast, but I have one more real quick minute. Can you tell us quickly about your Teen Leadership Program Award that you received?
Yeah, we're really pleased that last year we won the 2014 Best in Practice Award from the Illinois After School Network. And it was really, you know, there aren't many other teen leadership programs. It's not a drop-in program. You know, this isn't for the teens to look at just what do I get out of it. I mentioned the Buy One, Give One program. So the teens are being taught how to give back to the community and what their role is in the community. And so with this award, the teens are really proud. There's been different segments that they have done on, I don't know if I've just mentioned, there's other television networks maybe that they have been on, and I love to hear them talk about their business and their products.
Oh, well, I know I saw some of the products out wrapped up, so nicely wrapped up too. They almost look like they were actually put through an assembly line and actually put together, and it's all being done by hand.
They are. They're all handcrafted, and the teens are involved in developing the packaging and the materials and the whole sales and inventory process. So they are entrepreneurs.
Well, Brenda, I have to have you back. Our time here goes by so quickly, and so I'm extending an invitation to come back because there's so much more to share.
Well, thank you.
So we'll have Brenda back, Brenda Swartz, CEO and President of Concordia Place. Today, Concordia Place is a non-profit organization with the mission to create involved communities where all their neighbors can gather, learn, and grow. They provide a place where varied economic, ethnic, racial, and faith backgrounds come together in an atmosphere of mutual appreciation and respect. On behalf of my colleagues at Hispanocare and Advocate Illinois Masonic Hospital, my name is Lucy Aquino. Thank you for watching Can Cable 21. Until next time, stay tuned. A lot more coming your way. Thank you, Brenda, so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Lucy.
Until next time. See you soon. Have a good evening.